Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over my November as well as December recap. And if you're like, whoa, slow down, that sounds like a lot. For my November, I'm going to go over them super quick. And then for December, I'm only going to go over 3 out of the 6, I believe. And currently, FYI, I'm reading The Will of the Many, and I'll probably finish it before December is over, but it just won't be in this video. So let's get into it. For the month of November, I read 8 books. The first was a reread, and it was Bride. When I first read it, it was 5 stars. When I read it again, it was 5 stars. No complaints. I love the main female character. She is hilarious to me. I love the way that she views the world. And for those of you who don't know, Bride follows our main character, Misery, who is a miserable vampire. She's thrown into an arranged marriage with this were in hopes to help their people or their species come together. We watch as they fall in love and deal with a lot of outside factors that have not only come to affect them, but also their species. I almost said people again, but their species. And also, if you know the plane ride or the plane scene, my favorite. Guys, I cannot tell you, I have never reread the full book until last November, but I reread that plane part habitually. I'm sad, open. I'm feeling anything, open. It's there. I downloaded it on my Kindle. I have it. I've had it. Okay, never mind. It's enough. Okay, and of course I reread it so that I could read the book Mate without being like, what the fuck is going on? Because I didn't want to just like read the recaps or like watch one of the recap videos. I wanted to like remember how I felt about it, if that makes sense. Like feel it. Okay. Now, unfortunately, Mate did not love her. She was fun, probably like a 3 stars for me. Pretty unfortunate in comparison to the 5 stars that I gave Bride, but I just feel like I wasn't really loving the characters as much as I could have. They didn't feel unique enough, for lack of a better term. I feel like that's a little bit too harsh considering I didn't mind the main female character, Misery's best friend, and I didn't hate the main male character. I forget the guy's name. Lo's best friend. That's the werewolf from Bride. He's the love interest, and that's his friend. Both of the friends. Yep. Okay, but I didn't hate them. Obviously, I read the book. I finished it, but it just felt like they didn't have to be together. I was like, oh, like they fit, but like that's fine. I don't know. Just didn't love their relationship. I didn't love their romance, the way that they fell in love, the issues that I believe her name is Rina. Is that her name? The issues that she was going through. It's not horrible. It's a fun time, but if you're expecting something like Bride, for me, it was not that. I think that's why it like kind of burst my bubble a little bit, for lack of a better term. But moving on, the next book I read was Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins, and that was for my book club at my job, which was 10 out of 10, by the way. Love that we do that. And for those of you who didn't know, Taylor Jenkins, I'm so sorry. She also wrote Atmosphere, Daisy Jones and the Six, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So I hear such praise about all those books, especially Atmosphere recently, so I know that her writing is so good. I did love Maybe in Another Life. I feel like it moved quick. I blinked and it was over. I was like, wow, I've never been through it so quick. I did love the questions that Maybe in Another Life brought up for me. For those of you who don't know, Maybe in Another Life follows our main character, and she ends up moving back home to LA, I believe it is, and we kind of go through 2 different paths. We watch 2 of her lives be completely different based on one choice that she made. So one choice throws off the course of one life, and then one choice is following through with if she had done something different. It's all really wholesome and really cute. None of her lives are bad lives, they're just different. I think that's something that was kind of hard for me to be comfortable with, because usually when I'm reading a fantasy or a romance, we have one main love interest, but for me, it's hard not to be like, he's my favorite. You know, it's giving Twilight. Am I Jacob or am I Edward? I'm Edward, by the way. I have to pick a favorite, so it felt weird having the main character comfortable with both guys, because they are both great guys, and it is 2 completely different lives, but that was just something that was a little bit out of my comfort zone, especially because I did not know that was going to be happening. I kind of like was like, oh, that's the book for book club? I'm there. Free on Kindle Unlimited. I'm ready. I'm there. I think maybe in another life has me wanting to bump up those other 3 books, Daisy Jones and the Six, Atmosphere, and the 7. Is that what it is? The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo? Yeah, the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo up in my TBR, because before they were kind of lower. I think I even have the 7 Husbands somewhere at home, not here in my apartment. Okay, but moving on. The next books, you guys, please, like, this is a judgment-free zone as I judge the books I'm reading. Like, for people, like, no judgment towards, like, the authors or, like, the readers, please. But I ended up reading the Pen Pal Duet, I believe it's called. I don't know why that happened. I don't know what I was thinking, why I did it. I don't know how I found the books, but I did, and I loved it, and I read both of them so fast. I have never finished a duet so quick. Like, even the Cat and Mouse Duet, I don't even think I finished the second book. I was like, oh wow, it's like the first book, and then I just shut it. I just closed it and went on with my day. This book, though, I stayed up till like 4 a.m. I was reading and reading and reading. It was so good. I would say, though, if you guys like the Cat and Mouse Duet, for those of you who don't know, Haunting Adeline and Hunting Adeline, I don't know, you guys would love this story. We are following our main character, who is, this is like previously in the part where we start in the book, she's already formed a relationship with him, but our main female character has been writing little love letters to this crazy guy in jail who's on death row, and they end up, well, surprise, falling in love. Bet you didn't see that coming. But they fall in love, and where we end up in the first like page in the book, where we start in the book, is his day in death row is like that day or the next day, and she misses it. And they had this whole plan to show up and be there for each other. And, you know, after that, he starts haunting her. I kid you not. I was like, oh my god, are we for real? Like, is it like that? And I was shocked. But what's really cool about this book is, for one, the writing is not shit. It's not, you can't be like, oh my god, that's so bad. It's not that bad. It's chill. For 2, I would say they did pretty good with the plot. We're not just getting a regular romance here. We're also getting like Haunting Adeline or Hunting Adeline. We're getting, I think his name is Zero. I don't know I don't remember. We're getting him doing other things outside of his romance, as well as the female main character doing things outside of her romance, which I appreciate, because the real world is just not about your partners. There, I said it. But it was good. I don't know. But yeah, if you're looking for something on the darker side, and I mean this seriously, read the trigger warnings. I cannot say that enough, because I went in like an idiot blind, and I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? Why am I here? But obviously I had a great time. I was flipping the pages, eating it up. I even tried to convince my boyfriend to read it. I would definitely recommend. It was good. I'm even gonna order the physical copies so I can like put them on my shelf that I've read them, and I can admit that. And if you like them and we like them together, you should like and comment and subscribe so I don't feel as crazy and alone. Okay, next is gonna be another somewhat dark, okay, actually, yeah, you should read the trigger warnings for this too. It's gonna be another dark series. It's gonna be the Legacy God series. I, like an idiot, kind of not actually, because these books I like the most, maybe because I started with them. I started with God of Wrath, and oh my god, so good. And then I went to God of Fury, chef's kiss, so good. Both of them stem from a main series that follows their parents, and then this book is about the kids. I'm not reading the book about the parents. I think, like, I was even like, we get the perspective of the parents later on in the books. I didn't care for it. I don't know them. I don't know who they are. I'm sat with the people that seem like they're my age, and it's like written in our time period. So I'm like, why would I read something else? Or why am I reading about the parents? I don't want to know what they're doing. That is not my business. And then I know some of you guys might not feel the same, and that's fine. I support it. I'm not going to judge you. Judge-free zone, especially because of the Pen Pal Duet. Okay? So, but those books are really good. Something that I really liked about them that I could appreciate was the fact that it seems like each book has a different mental health representation going on. One of them deals with like psychosis, another one deals with suicide. Like, That's why I'm saying read the trigger warnings, because for a lot of people something like that can be very jarring, especially if they have family members or themselves have like been dealing with it. So just read the trigger warnings, make sure you know what you're getting into before you just dive in like how I did. I have one book not finished for the Legacy God series, and it's, I actually can't remember his name right now, I'm blanking. Okay, it doesn't matter, but one of them is not finished, and then I do plan on reading the spin-off series, just not the one for the parents. I'm not doing that. Just, I can't. Okay, the last book that I read in November, and thank you guys for sticking with me, it's gonna be the Jasad Heir. You guys, sit down. If you're not already sitting, let me tell you this right now. Listen, please. If you want true enemies to lovers, you need to buy this book, you need to read it immediately, and you need to be sat, because it is so good. I have never had enemies to lovers fulfilled the way that I have with the Jasad Heir. It was amazing. Not to mention, I like the fact that we have our main character kind of learning things about her own kingdom while doing so. We love a girl who's going through a self-awareness period. But for those of you who don't know, we have the main character who is heir to a fallen kingdom, the Jasad kingdom, and she's on the run. Jasadis like herself all have magic, or I believe most of them do. I'm assuming they all have magic, and they are either hunted or killed or imprisoned. So she's been on the run ever since her kingdom burned down, and everybody thinks that she's dead. She has been kind of just living her life as someone who goes by the name of Sylvia. And one day, the prince of a different kingdom, a kingdom that kind of had a lot to do with her kingdom's downfall, ends up finding her. He makes her fight as his champion in a competition. I'm trying so hard not to spoil too much right now, but the journey along the way makes it so much worth it. Makes it so much more worth it than how it sounds. And I think you should give it a try. So yeah, those are going to be the books that I read during the month of November. And I would just say, off rip, would recommend Bride. Would recommend the Pen Pal Duet if you read the trigger warnings. The Legacy God series, depending on what you're looking for, each book is different. They're not all good. I did not love like the first 2 or 3, I think. I don't remember. But yeah, last up, and this is going to be so quick because it's only 3 out of 6 of the books that I read for December. I'm going to tell you guys about the book that I just finished. It's Don't Let the Forest In, I believe by C.G. Drews. Yeah, so they also wrote Hazelthorn, for those of you being like, that name sounds familiar. But this book was so good. I do understand a lot of the opinions about the fact that there are plot holes. They're not wrong. There are plot holes. That's not a lie. But for me, what I was loving was the way that the atmosphere was so strong, and the way that there were so many contradictions going through the book that I loved, like with the characters, with what they were going through, the settings, how you never know what's fake and what's real. We are following Andrew, his sister Dove, and then their best friend Timothy. Now, every single year they have to attend boarding school. They always attend and enjoy it together. They spend it always together, the 3 of them. And for this most recent year, for some reason, Dove hasn't been with them. She hasn't been doing the same things that they used to do. Things are different. It is a hard time for Andrew, Dove's brother, because he's used to relying on both Timothy and Dove. He needs them in different ways. And what ends up happening is that it's so hard not to spoil. I kid you not, it's so hard not to spoil. Because it's like, okay, so that it's listed in the summary, so this is not going to be included as a spoiler. Okay, so Timothy, Andrew and Dove's best friend, often draws dark, macabre, horrifying drawings all the time. He's very passionate about drawing, and oftentimes the things that he draws stem from Andrew's stories. And we watch as the drawings that he does, they come to life around the school in the forest. And Timothy and Andrew have to work together to get rid of the monsters. We watch as they deal with their own relationship, the fact that Dove is no longer spending time with them, as well as the monsters themselves. There's a lot of symbolism going on, a lot of metaphors that are hidden, and kind of an open ending, if you will. I don't think that's too bad to say, especially because some people might not read a book if it has an open ending. I will say really quick, if you loved Don't Let the Forest In, I would recommend Where the Dark Stands Still, as well as This Fatal Kiss. Where the Dark Stands Still is probably more similar out of the books that I read to Don't Let the Forest In, but This Fatal Kiss is also good too. 10 out of 10 would recommend all three of those books. Pretty sure I gave them all 5 stars. And yeah, I love this book. I keep recommending it to people because it's just so good. I kid you not, I was up late flipping through the pages. Okay, and currently reading Will of the Many. I'll probably be done with it by the time that December is up, but I don't know if I'll be done with the second book by then, but fingers crossed. And then for the last book that I read that I wanted to bring up for December, it's going to be Shield of Sparrows. This book has been so good. I'm not even sure I can put it properly into words because there are some things that had me like left wanting more. I would say the pacing is a little bit inconsistent. Around the middle part, I was getting kind of bored. There is a lot of traveling that's going on, but there is interest enough to where you'd want to keep turning the pages and keep reading the book. It's just that it's quite long, and I think the author could have done a little bit better with the pacing. We follow Princess Odessa, who is forced into a political marriage with Prince Xavier, and she's doing it to fulfill an ancient treaty as well as to help out her father. Her father is hoping that she can spy on them and find out where this hidden city is because he thinks that it can help him protect his people and potentially the world from this monster plague that occurs. It's definitely a slow burn story, and I did have a really good time. The ending honestly kind of saved it for me. If not for like the last 20 to 30% of the book, I probably would not have wanted to read the second one so far. And just so you guys know, the second one does not come out until April 7th, 10 days before my birthday, but it doesn't come out until April 7th. So if you're one of those people who has to have the next book or does not like to read a book and stay at a cliffhanger or you'll forget the book, I would wait to read it. But yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.